This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
We begin tonight in a weather alert. Let's take a live look over downtown St. Louis. Some areas were stormy and many were not. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. There is still some rain hanging on around the metro, so let's go straight to our chief meteorologist, Scott Connell, with that Weather First forecast. Scott.
You know, we still have some showers and thunderstorms around, potentially a couple of stronger thunderstorms still possible through the evening hours. But the reality is the greater severe weather threat is going to be much farther to our south, most likely down along the Missouri-Arkansas border. Right now, a lot of clouds around the St. Louis area. We've seen a few thin spots here and there, and we've also seen a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms, but nothing that's widespread or gets our attention for being severe or strong enough to warrant where you need to be inside. So at this point, everything's quiet with the exception of these little scattered showers. There's some out in Franklin County here along US 50, and they're trying to move towards the metro area. Some stronger thunderstorms down here across parts of southern Iron County and Reynolds County. Here's a look over into Highland, Illinois, where it's just mainly cloudy right now. Looks like the roads are on the dry side at the square in Highland. And here's a look as we check over southwest of St. Louis, just a hint of some sunshine. So evening scattered showers and thunderstorms, sure, there's still that chance. The greatest threat of severe weather well to the south of St. Louis, far southern portions of Missouri and into western portions of Tennessee and Kentucky overnight and down into Arkansas. But the clouds will linger overnight into tomorrow. And we'll set us up for a halfway decent weekend. More on that coming up in a few minutes, Mike.
And you can stay up to date with the Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you a link. An update tonight on yet another child shot in the St. Louis area. A 9-year-old boy was wounded this morning when bullets came flying into his home.
And he is the third child shot in our area within just the past 3 days. 5 on your side, Justina Cornell's live from the North St. Louis County Police Precinct with what she learned from the family members. Justina.
Yeah, so this happened at Glasgow Village, and when we arrived to the scene earlier today, we spoke to Grandma, and she said that her 9-year-old grandson was shot in the arm. Now, this happened this morning around 9:44 on the 10700 block of Spring Garden Drive. Police say the little boy was inside his home when someone outside fired several rounds. His grandma, Janie Leggett, lives right next door to her daughter and her grandchildren. She said she heard 17 gunshots go off and then heard her daughter scream. That's when she saw her 9-year-old grandson, Jason Williams, shot in the arm and then taken to the hospital. Leggett doesn't believe they were targeted.
He was in his room.
Wow.
They shot through his room right here. They shot through the wall. These walls so thin, the bullets just went straight through. He a good boy. He go to school. He's smart. He intelligent. I mean, he don't need to even be going through this. He just lost his daddy some years ago, you know. So whoever did this, I hope they get caught.
We're told that little boy is expected to be okay. Police say no arrests have been made just yet. Reporting live, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
Well, the Kia boys are still wreaking havoc in the St. Louis area. The car thieves got their names after spreading on social media how easy it is to steal some Hyundai and Kia models. But as Christine Byers shows us, the St. Louis County Police have their own Kia boys who are on the right side of the law.
As always, I'm very proud of you. Great job.
In 2022, close to 3,000 Hyundais and Kias were reported stolen in unincorporated St. Louis County. Officer Andrew Jones found and returned 101 of them, the most of any single officer.
It hurts me to see these people suffer and have their property that they've worked very hard for taken from them by somebody. Being able to get that property back to them is just very rewarding for me.
Jones says sometimes he found the cars behind vacant houses or even driving on the streets.
It was very much a just game of hide and seek, essentially.
He was honored during Wednesday's St. Louis County Police Board meeting.
The recovered property reached a total of $1.5 million. And a lot of that property was able to be returned to the victims of the North County community.
Officer Jones says steering wheel locks like the club are still the most important deterrent. If he ever found a stolen car that had one, it was in the back seat because the owner forgot to use it or properly install it.
Even if you think that you're not going to need it or not going to have that, somebody's not going to steal it while you're just in the store for a minute, being vigilant is probably the best practice when trying to address this.
Jones says he's only found about 50 stolen Hyundais and Kias so far this year.
That's not as many as last year, and I am glad for that because I hate having to take those reports for those frustrated people that are then left without transportation.
Jones's Dayside counterpart, Officer Justin Keim, was off duty Wednesday. He was honored for finding 76 stolen Hyundais and Kias.
I can't stress enough that this is a team effort. It starts with the men and women at the North County Precinct, the supervisors that have encouraged me to keep pursuing this, even though we have a heavy call volume in our precinct.
Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Hyundai and Kia are now offering free anti-theft software for the millions of cars that were made without it. For more information about the software and where to find a steering wheel lock, you can look for Christine's stories under the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Several of the nation's most prominent Black faith leaders gathered at an annual convention in downtown St. Louis today. They're organizing another March on Washington, 60 years after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. rallied the country on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has more on their call for political action.
And a new generation of civil rights leaders took the reins of the Rainbow Push Coalition from Reverend Jesse Jackson, who organized social justice efforts with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. many years ago. They described St. Louis as a centerpiece and a foundation of the national movement to build a broad base of Black political power across the country.
There is no American democracy without Black power.
62 years after its inception, the denominational home to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. paid respects to a different anniversary, the 2014 police killing of Michael Brown 9 years ago to the day.
It's important for us to be in St. Louis because not very far from here, the movement was sparked. Ferguson, as I said this morning, is ground zero for the Black Lives Matter movement, the same way Montgomery was ground zero for the civil rights movement. It's important.
Black pastors celebrated political power and progress, but criticized cultural clashes that one called Blacklash.
The rights that we received after '63 through blood, sweat, and tears have all been under attack systematically.
Sadly, there is an all-out war on democracy.
Leaders called for a criminal justice system that treats everyone as equals and called the January 6th assault on the Capitol an attack on the very right to vote.
We won't stop until the real thugs like Donald Trump, who are the real threat to democracy, get justice they deserve.
Heading into a presidential election year, they're organizing another push to march on Washington.
We have been largely silent. We've been mad in church, we've been mad in the street, but we have not been mad in where the power rests.
We're going to do all we can to register as many voters as possible so that we can, as the Progressive National Baptist Convention, uphold democracy.
Some of the senior members of that convention said you'll know change is coming when the younger generation shows up in droves, and they predicted a silent majority of younger voters are indeed growing more agitated with culture wars in classrooms and state houses, and expect to see that register at the polls next year.
Mike Brown! Mike Brown!
It's been 9 years since the deadly police-involved shooting in Ferguson sparked the Black Lives Matter movement. Now Michael Brown's family and the community are honoring his memory.
Some Sephora customers in Missouri could be getting some money back. Who qualifies for a settlement?